Everyone is welcome to my channel. Today I have brought the best series called Death's Game. There are 8 episodes in this series. There is nothing to say about the story. Today we are bringing the first episode of this series. From today you can watch all 8 episodes consecutively on NAVIJER YouTube channel. This is how the great story of Death Game begins. There is a little boy named Kim Song-hyop who wants to study well. No matter how much he studies, Choi still doesn't have a job. Meanwhile, Choi sees that the girl he loves is having a relationship with another boy. Choi is bored with his life with these problems. After that, Choi commits suicide by jumping from a tall building. After that, Choi goes straight to death. Death gives Choi 12 chances, that is to remove the soul of a person who is about to die and put Choi's soul into that person's body. The challenge that Choi receives is to prevent the death of the person who is about to die, can continue to live as a person. But the problem is that Choi does not know when and how the person who is about to die will die. Death gives Choi these opportunities with the intention of teaching Choi a lesson. So Choi will be able to find the bodies of the dead to save the life of someone who was about to die. Let's go to the video. At the beginning of the story, a young boy is shown scared in a dark place. A young girl comes here and shoots the boy in the head. At this time, we do not understand what happened. Now let's get to the main story. It means that this shows us an incident that happened 7 years ago. The main character of the story is Choi. Choi is a well-educated young boy. Choi is on his way to a job interview. At this time, Choi's girlfriend is calling. Choi's girlfriend's name is Sue. Sue is the reason to talk to Choi. Wish Choi a successful interview. After that, Choi goes to the Taken company for an interview waiting for a job. At this time, a man walking on the street is hit by a car and falls right next to Choi. Choi tries to help this man, but this man dies in front of Choi. Choi is very scared by this incident. Because of this, Choi is unable to face the interview properly. There is nothing to do now, and the interview fails, so Choi has to go to his usual part-time job. Thus time passes. After some time, interviews are being held for several vacancies in the above-mentioned company. This is a good opportunity for Choi. So Choi goes to the interview, but Choi is unable to appear for the interview this time as well. But the interviewers here say we'll let you know, so Choi has to come back. However, Choi realizes that he will not be able to find a job here anyway. Choi then leaves to meet Sue. Choi sees Sue having an affair with another boy from a distance, and Choi sees the boy drop Sue off near the house. Choi comes in and asks Sue if she's in a relationship with someone else, but Sue says no. So realizes that Choi is nervous about the interview. Choi is given an envelope with money saying that the interview didn't go well and he couldn't get the part-time job right. But Choi doesn't want to take it. Choi tells her that I don't even have a job, that's why I am now. I wouldn't be surprised if he was told to forget it and had an affair with someone. After going to the rent house, Choi finds all of Choi's belongings thrown away. Choi finds a note. It states that all of Choi's belongings were removed because Choi did not pay the boarding school rent on time. This note clearly mentions that a new person will be coming to the boarding school in 2 days to buy things. It's starting to rain here. Choi tries to save his valuables from the rain, but realizes it won't work. With all these problems, Choi is bored with life. He goes to the top floor of a tall building and leaves a suicide note and commits suicide by jumping from the building. At this time, Choi receives a call from Choi's mother, but Choi is not alive to receive the call. After some time, Choi wakes up in a luxury plane and notices that he doesn't look like he used to. Choi notices a beautiful girl on the other side of the plane. She is known as Death. Choi doesn't believe this. Then Death shows Choi hell. At this time, Choi is very scared. Choi began to believe that this was death. Near death is the suicide note written by Choi at this time. Death says that God has given everyone the privilege that a man dies once. But Choi says sadly that God's grace does not matter to me. Death means I give you not 1 chance, but 12. It means that the soul of a person who is going to die soon is removed from his body and Choi's soul is placed in that body. Choi has to prevent the death of that person. If you do that, Death says that Choi can live as that person inside that person's body. Now you can see that Choi is already in a situation where death has been given to him. But Choi doesn't like this job. But Choi's will doesn't matter. Death disappears from here in a moment. At the same time, this plane is going to crash. After the plane crashes, Choi realizes that the person who owns his body will die. Because Death said that Choi's soul would be put into the body of someone who was about to die. But here comes a flight attendant. This flight attendant comes and says that this is a temporary situation, there is nothing to fear. But Choi does not want to accept this. But after some time the situation will return to normal. After that, Choi walks around the plane for a while. This plane is very valuable. Choi sees many things like watches and belts. Choi realizes that the person who owns his body must be a very wealthy person. At the same time, something like a hammer comes and hits Choi on the head. At the same time, all Jin Tai's memories started to load in Choi's brain. His name is Park Jin-tae. He is 33 years old. Jin-tae is the second son of the owner of the company called Taken mentioned earlier. Jin-tae has a brother. These two have been waiting for the position of director of the company from their father, and Jint has been given it by his father. That is Jint's story, but now Choi is inside Jint's body. Previously, Choi went to the company hoping for a job, but now Choi is in the body of the company's grant officer. Choi is very happy because now Choi has no shortage of money, even though the accident that would have happened has stopped. Choi's happiness has not increased. Choi realizes that the plane has an engine failure and the plane crashes. In the end the plane explodes and Choi's life is not saved for Choi. After a while, Choi wakes up in a dark place. Choi feels the pain of death in the same way. Now Choi understands that the devil has given him these opportunities as a punishment to teach him a lesson. Death is in this dark place. Actually Choi has come to the gate of hell after his death. Death has 11 bullets and a watch. Choi asks about this. Death says from these bullets, and that the clock decides the lives you will get. It means that when Choi is shot with this one bullet, Choi's soul will have the opportunity to enter the body of someone who is about to die. Choi asks what will happen if you cannot save even one of these chances. Death says that if that happens, you will go to hell. He says that he has to go. Death shows Choi exactly what hell is like at this time. At this time, Choi is scared even before. Death says that people kill themselves because they have problems and it is okay to go to hell, but when they see hell, they are afraid. Choi, I think that in one of the remaining 11 lives, the life will definitely be saved. Before that, Death says that one of the chances given to you is over, but don't worry, there are 11 more chances. After this, Mariah puts a bullet and shoots Choi in the head. After that, Choi gets his second chance. At the same time, Choi goes into someone else's body. At this time, the person who owns this body is still on the way to the ground, which is thousands of meters in the sky. There are 3 more people to help him. They have parachutes. But the person who owns Choi's body has jumped to the ground without a parachute. Choi has no idea. But Choi realizes that the person who owns this body is going to die soon. The plaque with the memories and abilities of the person who owns this body comes and hits Choi's head. At the same time, Choi gets the memories and abilities of the person who owns this body. This person's name is Song Jae-seop. Years 38. Song Jae was fond of adventure activities when he was young. He currently holds 4 Guinness records. Song Jae is trying to set a Guinness record at this time. That record is to jump into a safety net at 8,000 feet in the morning without a parachute. Song Jae also has a sponsor for this work. It is said that if this work is completed correctly, one will be given 3.5 million won by a sponsor. Because of all these things, Song Jae's body will come to Choi's memory. Because of this, Choi thinks that he can do this, and after this, he will get a cash prize of millions of won. Choi can live without any problem. Choi, with the idea of successfully using Song Jae's abilities, starts to see where the safety net is and move towards it. All these things are shown on live media. Something unexpected will happen. Song Jae or Choi in Song Jae's body will fall from the safety net and die. That means Choi will lose his second chance. Let's see what happens next. The first episode of the game series has ended. The second episode will have a lot of terrible things to happen, so we will meet in the second episode.